In this video, I'll be showing you how you can add beautiful depth of field to your artwork. I myself really love to add some nice depth of field to my images. It really adds dimension to everything. So first of all, we're gonna throw Gaussian blur in the trash can because it's basically shit. There's a way more powerful tool right there and I'm gonna show you exactly how to use it. So here's my first example document and there's no depth of field yet. First, I'm gonna determine what my main subject is. This is the part that won't be blurred. In this document is the winged boy. Everything in front of him and behind him should have a blur. And here's the first rule: the further away from the subject in focus, the more blurred it should look. We're gonna start with the foreground, these rocks. First, make sure the layers are smart objects because you might want to change the effect after you applied it. Also make sure you don't have a layer mask on your layer, because if there is, the blur gallery won't make the edge blurry. Now select your smart object and go to Filter, Blur Gallery and choose Field Blur. This will take you to a new workspace. In the middle of your image, a point will show up. This is sort of an anchor point to which you can attach a blur value. If you click somewhere else on the artboard, another point will show up. When a point is selected, you can change the blur value in the right corner. So maybe you want something to be very blurry at the bottom but not so blurry at the top. This is the way to achieve that. But for my example, I only need one point, so I'm deleting this one and changing this point's value to about this. Hit OK and there you go. You can do this to every layer you want and you can just change the values to whatever you like. Just remember, the further away from the subject in focus, the more blurred it should look. Now you might wonder, why is this so much better than Gaussian blur? Here's why. So on the left we have blur gallery and on the right we have Gaussian blur. Gaussian blur is kind of a plain neutral blur, but blur gallery simulates the effect that you see in real life when something is out of focus. For instance, bokeh is a good example. Blur gallery has a bokeh option right here. Gaussian blur just completely destroys light in an image. But okay, for my second example, it works a little different, because here there's no clear border between close and far away. There's just grass and it goes on forever. This is where tilt shift comes in. When you have the background selected, go to Filter, Blur Gallery and hit tilt shift. You come in the same workspace here, but now tilt shift is selected in the right corner. The center point you see here is the area in focus, which means no blur. The entire area between these two lines is all in focus. The space between these two lines is the transition between 0 and the amount of blur you select here. First, I'm gonna put my center point on the bottom of the car because that's gonna be in focus. Drag the first two lines to a point that's the last point which is in focus. Behind those lines, the blur starts to happen. The final two lines can be put on the bottom line of the composition and the horizon, because that's the end of the world. Now change the blurriness to whatever value you like. For me, this is okay. So there you have it, that's how you can add a depth of field to your art. I hope you've learned something new today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and if you like this content, feel free to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell so that you don't miss anything. And then I hope I'll see you in my next video.